Hello out there, casual fanatics. Thank you for joining us. Jeremy here with another episode of the casual mode playthrough of Selenon Rising. It's episode 4. When we last showed up here, we were investigating a murder and kinda got some hints that our good friend Blue is a lot more altruistic than he seems. A lot more optimistic than he seems. Unfortunately, we also had to deal a little bit with his ex-girlfriend. It's, Red. Ostensibly one of our co-workers, but also kind of a jerk. So, we're going to hop back in, do a little more playthrough of this sci-fi film noir psychic game. So, here we go. We climb into the car, and I'm still squinting at the bright sunlight as Blue starts the engine and pulls out of the parking lot, heading towards the bureau. Chapter 2. Mistaken Identity. Well, if I'd have known that, I'd have waited one more little image. Not nearly the talent for my breaks here that I did when I was doing Pokemon Academy Life, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know and haven't seen my various tweets on the subject, I will resume it once the full version comes out. You will see Mewtwo try to chase Sabrina, but that's neither here nor there. We pull up outside HQ, the brakes screeching to a stop outside the central tower. It's just as impressive up close as it is from afar, an impossibly tall monument of steel that harkens back to ancient times when humanity thought they could accomplish anything. And then came the Trump presidency. The tower, aside from being the headquarters for the Bureau, also anchors the dome's force field. It is the very symbol of the elite, those who enter, live under the Bureau's protection. So, the police force is pretty much designed to protect one group of people that are rich and powerful. What's the fiction part of this sci-fi anyway? Now, though, the rust on the outside is showing through after centuries of abuse. Less a soaring tower, and more a massive monument marking a grave, that of planet Earth. The massive metal gates creak open, and the car edges inside, coming to a stop in the parking lot for authorized employees. The area outside the tower is heavily fortified and constantly under watch. It's been a few days. I'm going to have to remember what my voices for these characters were. As we push through the doors, the smell of paper and mint hit me at the same time. Chief Noble hates the smell of paper, markers, and basically anything else associated with an office, so a fake peppermint scent constantly hangs in the air. Every time I walk inside, I can't help but think of how unusually lavish it is, even for the Chief. The large, open lobby is uncharacteristically quiet. So I'm gonna guess that the Chief's piece of ancient technology that he got to keep was a wax candle warmer? However, I know that the scene in the Bureau offices is the exact opposite of the spacious, silent lobby upstairs. It's cramped with desks and people, and bustles with activity. Agents, secretaries, and filing clerks dart here and there, weaving webs of words so it's impossible to pick out any one particular conversation. I got a little stumbled there because of that brilliant use of alliteration. Being in the pit always makes me feel strange, like I'm a little weird satellite that's been knocked out of its orbit while everyone else is on course somehow. I've never been quite sure where I belong in the larger pattern, or where the strand of order, it must exist, that ties all this chaos together is. You know, I just realized I forgot to grab my dice. So far, it's all been sets of 3 choices, so I'll just pick out a d6. And if I need any other bits of dice, I will set my bag aside where I can easily grab it. Miss Pierce, the chief's secretary, appears as though out of nowhere when I turn around. Her hair is in a tight bun, and her eyes are partially obscured by her customary glasses. I'm still not quite sure what color her eyes are. I take another look, but it's impossible to tell behind those silver moons.
Good. You two are here. The chief has been waiting for you.
Sorry, we came as fast as we could.
No matter. Here are your briefing packets. Read them in the elevator.
No need to press any buttons. The door slides open as if waiting for us. All 3 of us step inside the elevator, and the doors slide shut with a click. Miss Pierce stands stoically, with her hands clasped in front of her as the elevator shoots up a countless number of floors into the sky above the city. I barely glanced at mine. Urgent. Zarla. Suspected rebel attack. When, with an anticlimactic ding, the door opens. We walk down a short hallway, turn left, then right, and step through a door into a lushly carpeted room. Art shift! Welcome, agents. Why won't you take a seat? The chief sits at a large mahogany desk. He is impeccably dressed as per usual. The room around him is decorated with portraits of former chiefs, men and women who no longer have any memory of being chief of the Bureau, and a few plans scattered here and there. A large screen on the far wall displays pertinent information about the city. Blue and I sit in chairs opposite his desk. I fold my hands in my lap and look at him steadily. We're on high alert, agents. I think I've found my opportunity to quash the New Moon resistance once and for all. Have you read your briefings? Even if you have, I'll summarize the situation. We have received intelligence that the rebels are planning an attack on the Dome. Clearly, if such an attack would successfully be carried out, it would be devastating to the city. However, this means they also have a great deal to lose if their plan fails. Despite the fact that it's most likely just one resistance cell, stopping them will throw the others into temporary disarray. If we combine this with a decisive strike by the Enforcers, we could completely wipe out the command structure and the remaining forces. Alright, so first choice of the day. 1, 2, that's too drastic. 3, 4, we should negotiate. 5, 6 sounds good to me. Personally, I don't really want to go the dark route. But the dice is making me do that anyway. Of course, as I did with Pokemon Academy Life, if I feel a decision is suboptimal for the way that I'm playing these characters, I am going to overrule and re-roll. So, 1 through 3, 4 through 6. That's too drastic.
Pardon me, sir, but wiping them out will cause large amounts of collateral damage. This is against Bureau policy.
Bureau policy is whatever I say it is. As the chief, I think I know better than you what the proper response from the Bureau should be. So, corrupt politicians governing the police force. I say again, what exactly is the fiction part of this sci-fi? Oh, right, yeah, the people with psychic powers. Chief Noble, or like Chief Ignoble.
Of course, sir. I just meant that maybe we could get something out of talking to them.
Like what? What would they possibly tell us?
Maybe they have more plans, or other cell members we might not know about.
If we can strike a decisive blow, those things will be irrelevant. The New Moon resistance must be quashed if we hope to maintain order in this city.
Yes, sir.
Is that an issue for you, Agent?
No. No, sir. Of course not.
Good, because I have an important assignment for you.
Sir?
I was most impressed by your undercover work on the tech bus. We may have failed to capture Zarla, but we did nab one of her associates, and that's something no agent was able to accomplish until now.
Thank you.
Because of the increased activity in Zarla's cell recently, we strongly believe that she is the one behind the rumored attack. If I may, sir, where did we acquire this intelligence? The rebel we caught in the alley has been most forthcoming, with a little help from the enforcers. Miss Pierce. I forgot Miss Pierce was even in the room, but she is suddenly at the chief's side with a folder held in her petite hands.
Yes, sir. According to the rebel, the attack is set to take place within the next week. He did not give us the location of Zarla's base. We don't believe he knows it.
Blue makes a small grunting noise. Sounds a bit like disgust.
Something wrong, Agent Blue?
Nope, just thinking about how confident you sound about all that.
Indeed.
Continue, Miss Pierce.
He does not know Zarla's whereabouts, however. He did give us the location of one of her closest confidants. Through them, we can reach Zarla. We just need an in.
And that's where you come in, Agent Violet.
Me, sir?
Yes. As I said, I was most impressed with your work. Your skills as an expert make you a tremendous asset.
But why not Blue? I'm sure someone with more experience might be more suited to the job.
Perhaps. But I'm interested to see the full extent of your abilities. That, and he isn't exactly cut out for this sort of work.
Blue is insulted, I can feel it, but we both know it's rather true. He's more of a man of action than someone who would be willing to sit around and wait.
Don't get me wrong, Agent Blue. You're one of our best clairvoyants. But we need someone with more finesse. Understood, sir.
Blue and I exchanged the briefest of looks, while the chief looks expectantly at Miss Pierce. Violet, you're going to be sent in to make contact with this member of Zarla's cell. We want you to go in under the cover that you're looking to be recruited. You will inhibit your powers until you get in close. Once you have access to Zarla, you'll be able to find out exactly what her weaknesses are. I see two potential problems. Yes? First, you want me to infiltrate and gain access to the cell in less than a week. How am I going to garner that much trust that quickly? You don't need to actually be a part of the attack plan. You just need to get in close enough to find out how to stop it. And, in an optimum scenario, take out Zarla. You want me to kill Zarla? Yes, if at all possible.
What have we been talking about all this time, Agent? Zarla's cell may be small, but she is one of the Resistance leading figures. Without her, they would suffer a serious blow to their morale.
It's simple logic. Okay. And? Huh? You said there were two issues. What is the second? Right. The second is Zarla knows who I am. She got a real good look at me when she was holding a knife to my throat. She would recognize me immediately. That would be a problem.
It won't? Pierce is also the head of the Bureau's Science Division. I'm sure she can remedy that issue for you. I just realized my Chief Baron sounds pretty damn close to the voice I use when I do a very bad impression of Beast Wars Megatron.
Something tells me I'm not going to like this.
Agent Blue, you ought to be on standby in case Agent Violet needs assistance. Yes. I had to do it. If her cover is compromised, you ought to protect her as best as you can, but do not take substantial risks to your own life. We'd like to limit casualties. Yes, sir. I'll readily step in if things go bad. However, I will not hesitate to put my own life in jeopardy should the situation call for it. Very well. You've always been rather stubborn when it comes to your partners, Agent Blue. I feel it is part of my job, sir. Indeed. Well, agents, you should get a move on.
You are dismissed. You start your undercover work tomorrow, Violet. Understood.
Miss Pierce and the chief watch Blue and I walk out of the room, standing shoulder to shoulder behind the chief's desk. As we make our way back through the halls, a mild feeling of trepidation lingers in my mind. How good is this disguise going to be? What are the chances I'm going to make it out of Zarla's cell, or even into her cell, alive? As I walk towards the elevators, I realize that Pierce is following me. She gently grasps my arm, pulling me away from Blue.
I'm afraid that you'll have to go back alone. I need to take her for a moment.
Blue doesn't miss a beat, waving me off with his back turned as he steps onto the elevator. I feel a bit of chill being alone with Pierce, but I can't quite place the feeling.
I'll have to measure you up for your disguise. I hope you haven't been neglecting your health.
Okay.
Of course not. I feel quite well, thank you. That's good. Come on. The lift is here.
We step onto the other lift together, and the doors close, the cab plummeting downwards. I feel like it goes on forever, even longer than our trip upstairs. We must be in the bowels of the tower by now. As the door hisses open, I smell the dank scent of ancient mildew, as if I was entering a crypt. The dim hallway before us is starkly carved out of concrete, stainless steel doors dotting it in orderly intervals. Okay. The only sound is a dull drone, which pulsates almost like a heartbeat. Pierce goes ahead, leading me farther down the hall, as the sound of her heels echoes off the walls. As I follow her, I try to puzzle out what feels uncanny. Suddenly, I come to an unusual realization. It's not a strange feeling, but rather a lack of any feeling. Usually, I can sense the waves coming from another's mind. The average person doesn't bother to control their thoughts, that is, if they even have the ability. Oh, and we've got our little emotion bar in the corner. But Pierce, it's almost like the difference between a tip jar and a bank vault. I can feel her brain working, but try as I might, I can't get a beat on her emotions. Whenever I try, it's like I run into a mental wall. Is she like this all the time? Or is it because I'm here?
What's the matter? You're acting as if you've never seen this place.
Her sudden utterance startles me, but I maintain my composure.
Should I have? That's an unusual degree of memory loss to forget that the ritual takes place here, wouldn't you say? It happens here?
I rack my brain, but I can't ever recall being in the basement of the Bureau. Blue was right. My memory loss really was severe.
It's strange. I don't seem to remember you undergo one either. But that's impossible. I'm part of Spectra, right? Yes, indeed you are. In fact, the records say that I myself approved your induction. Maybe the Selenon had their own reasons for making you forget. The Selenon, eh? That's the only possible explanation, right? The Selenon work in mysterious ways, I suppose. It's probably best if we ignore it. After all, we can't have errant thoughts interfering with your power. It makes the mind vulnerable to attack. You seem to know quite a bit about psychics. Of course. I am, after all, the assistant to the chief. I deal with them all the time.
Probably also got some kind of dampening field about her. She stops in front of one particular door, which seems to be no different than all the rest. It wards open. and I enter what looks like backstage at a vaudeville show. Racks of surprisingly snazzy outfits line the sides of the room, and a lit mirror hangs on the back wall, above jars of makeup.
Is this really where you work? I was expecting something more boring. Oh, is that how you think of me? No, of course not. I meant more businesslike. Actually, Agent Yellow did the decorating. I had nothing to do with it. Whoever it was seems to like theater. Tell me, Violet, have you ever read Shakespeare? Who's Shakespeare? He was a man who once wrote, all the world's a stage. It's too bad I'm so terrible at acting. Actually, I'd say you're quite good at it if you got this far.
Pierce takes a small device from her pocket and points it at me. A blinding beam of light emits from it, superimposing a glowing red grid onto my body. She slowly walks in a circle, pausing at 90-degree intervals.
What's that light? Don't worry, it's harmless. Just a few more seconds. Alright, scan complete. Could you stop shining it in my eyes? Oh, sorry, you must have slipped.
Pierce puts away her scanner.
Now that I have your measurements, how would you like your new self to look? New self? I didn't exactly give it much thought. I was thinking something maybe with dark hair with like silver highlights, pretty tall and well-built, magically inclined. Oh, wait, no, sorry, that's my D&D character. Just make me look modest and unassuming, alright? I don't want to attract any unnecessary attention.
Well, yeah, I can see why you'd want to go with that, considering how you pretty much look like Motoko Kusanagi.
I see, just as I thought. One moment.
She does an about face, and is about to march out the door when I stop her.
Excuse me, but what am I supposed to do now? Get undressed, of course. Don't worry, it's not like anyone's looking.
Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. If for some reason we do get any naughty bits on the screen, I will censor them. Though her statement doesn't exactly reassure me. I suppose I have no other choice. Unbuttoning my blouse, I remove it and place it on the table nearby, followed by my shoes and my dress, until I am clad only in my bare essentials. Running my hands across my skin, it feels almost foreign. I think back to the conversation with Blue about my past. I feel like the Selenon know more about me than I do. Still, I have no regrets. I must have had a reason for what I did. A very good reason. And the one person I cannot afford to doubt is myself.
The Selenon know about my past. But I had to make the decision to become an agent. It's not just something you're forced to do. People become agents of their own free will. Right? Plot point!
It should be noted that I am playing this game completely, entirely blind, so when I say plot point, it's just from what I know about tropes about video games. It applies for everyone else, so why shouldn't it apply to me? There isn't anything different about me. I'm Violet. Sooner than I expected, Pierce returns holding a metal suitcase. I almost don't hear her arrive, so I jump when I hear her footsteps behind me.
I found some splendid clothes for you from the wardrobe. Here, why don't you put them on?
I excitedly pull the full set of clothes out from inside the case. A blouse, a brown fur-lined jacket, followed by a pair of tight-fitting black jeans and some loafers. I slide the jeans on first, then my blouse, and finally the jacket and shoes. Taking a glance at myself in the mirror, I smile at how snazzy it looks. Then, something makes me do a double take.
Is it just me, or is the chest area larger than normal? There's a good likelihood you will be dealing with people of the opposite sex. Call it a strategic calculation. What? I thought I was adequate at least.
Just personally speaking, yeah, definitely adequate, more than.
Oh, don't worry, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Putting this issue aside for a moment, I'm still wondering how Zarla isn't going to recognize me. Yes, well, that's the next part of the process. Your appearance has to undergo a few modifications.
Please don't tell me this is going to lead to surgery.
Oh dear, of course not. We only do that to people in the witness protection program. Then what? Makeup? No. It could wear off in the middle of an infiltration. Holograms? That would work at long range, but not close up. Alright, you've got me. I'm stumped. Don't worry. It will all become clear once I press this button. What button? Ah, why is everything so dark? I can't see! Pierce, what's going on? Why is there a robot arm touching me?
Remember, if they can pass the Turing test, they can give consent.
There's something on my head. Pierce! Pierce! Now, if you'll just excuse me, I have a meeting scheduled. If you want to figure out the rest, I've left their manual there for you. Wait, don't you dare! Pierce! Damn it!
When is Violet gonna get here?
Hey there, handsome. Did your lady friend leave you in the lurch?
As a matter of fact, she did. And wow, you sure are looking stunning this evening. Gullible sap detected.
I try. As a matter of fact, I'm not too happy with my boyfriend myself. He's blue all the time. Probably because he mixes with the wrong kind of people.
That doesn't sound good. How about you forget about that deadbeat and give me your number instead? We'd have dinner sometime.
Sometime? That sounds boring. Why don't we cut to the chase?
What do you... Oh, I didn't know my looks were this magnetic.
Oh, at least I would, but agents aren't my style.
It's the blue hair, isn't it? Don't worry, I can change for you, baby.
Not exactly. I'm just not in Selenon office.
I'm sorry, I just still love that it's a gullible sap detected. I'm psychic, because it's my job. You make it sound like I hug him and kiss him or something.
How do I know you don't? Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot.
Oh, come on, we're a sultry redhead in kind of a powered superhero show. This may not be Spider-Man, but I had to make the joke. Trust me, if you've ever seen one, you know that they ain't exactly the huggable type.
So tell me, what do you think about Violet? Is she someone who you'd want to kiss?
I won't lie, she's as cold as outer space. If I had to bet, I'd say she has a serious dark side. Wait, how do you know you have a partner? Don't tell me you're a rebel assassin.
You have quite the active imagination, but don't worry, you've probably seen me before.
There's a loud click as my face detaches to Blue's horror. The expression goes blank as I pull it off, bringing my violet eyes into Blue. End of view. What? How?
Calm down. It's only a mask, see?
Of course, I knew. I was just playing along.
Right. That's why it said gullible sap detected.
He wipes his brow, chuckling nervously to himself.
I'll bet you were. Don't blame me. The Bureau shares its technology on a need-to-know basis. But forget that. You went after her like a dog chasing after a piece of meat. I'm a little self-conscious.
I was just, planning to squeeze some information out of her.
You definitely squeezed something, alright.
You know, Vi, you're not really the type to attract attention. I'm surprised you didn't go with something more modest. It wasn't really my choice.
I didn't. That Pierce left me in the lurch.
I can't see what's so wrong about it.
Of course it's wrong. I'm supposed to be an undercover agent, not a floozy.
Hey now. Let's be sex positive here, Vi. What a shame.
You know what? Forget it. I'm gonna put this back on before anyone notices.
I snap the mask back on, and it tightens itself to hug my face until it almost feels like a second skin. Through some miracle of technology, I can even feel a touch through it. Putting blind faith in a machine isn't something I enjoy, but in this case it seems to be necessary. As I talk, my voice changes to a mellifluous, husky tone that is far from my usual clipped manner of speech. You know what? I'm not going to alter my voice while she is in character. I'm going to continue with the Violet voice, because otherwise that's an additional voice I have to remember. And my memory sucks. Wait, what should I call you?
Rhonda. Rhonda Fox.
In all seriousness, Rhonda, I'm not wild of the thought of you going deep undercover like this. I'm not going to roll this one. I know exactly what I want to say.
Thank you for your concern, but I think I can handle myself.
You're welcome for the concern. And yes, I know you can handle yourself, but I still worry.
Why?
I'm genuinely curious about the answer. Blue seems to be trying to tell me something, but with this mask blocking my powers, I'm having a hard time figuring out what it is. Well, because
Blue seems flustered. His face turns slightly red, and he shifts uncomfortably. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just don't understand what you're trying to tell me.
No, it's okay. You didn't make me uncomfortable. He sighs heavily before turning to face me again. I'm just trying to find a way to say this to you without freaking you out.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, what if I promise not to freak out?
Okay. I worry about you because I care about you, Violet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I feel embarrassed. I wish I could sense what Blue was thinking, but I can't thanks to this psionic inhibitor that Pierce gave me. She told me not to switch it off unless absolutely necessary, or I could blow my cover. But this is getting to be more than I bargained for. Don't apologize. I'm used to your stubbornness. In fact, it's one of the things I like about you.
Blue laughs again. I really wish I knew what he was feeling. This not being able to use my powers thing, it's terrible. Makes me feel like I'm a prisoner in my own mind. Is this how other people feel all the time?
Yes. Very, very yes.
Is this how the Selenon think all humans are? I'm really different from most people. I don't think I could live this way. I look back over at Blue, trying to lessen some of the loneliness that has hit me like a concrete wall. Blue doesn't seem to notice my internal struggle, and instead flips over a folder that he's been holding and points to a picture.
Okay, so the target is this place called Bolt's Auto. It's a repair garage inside the dome, and despite its boring name, we've been tracking some rebel activity in there recently.
Does Zarla have contact working there?
Blue reads the page quickly and then summarizes. It's either that, or someone working there knows someone working for Zarla and get in touch with the cell. Looks like we're fairly sure that one of her people actually works there, although we've been unable to get a positive ID on whom. Here are a couple of things you might need. information on Zarla's cell, and some of the strange going on the past few weeks.
Blue hands me the folder with several sheets of information in it. Thanks, Blue. Okay, so the game plan is for me to pretend I'm interested in joining the rebels. I find and approach the contact at Boltaldo and try to get in that way. From there, I attempt to gather as much information about Zarla's plans as I can.
Right, and I'm going to be your backup. As Chief said, I'm not quite stealthy enough for the undercover work, but I know how to handle my gun. I bet you do, Blue. I bet you do. I'll be nearby in case you get into any scrapes.
I look at Blue, and he smiles at me. I feel a flutter in my stomach for no apparent reason.
Ready?
Yep, let's do this.
We head for the car. Alright, that seems like a perfect time to save the game and call it for this episode. So, until next time, I am Jeremy. This has been Casual Mode's playthrough of Selenon Rising. Keep it casual, y'all.